Okay guys, don't hate me. I don't know how to set this decoration stuff up, so hopefully this doesn't look completely ugly. This week I want to go through everything that I crocheted and some of the things I knitted throughout my life that I still have. I'll try to do it in order as much as I can remember, but I really don't remember. These are one of the first things I remember making, and I was like 14 or 15 when I made these beautiful leg warmers that definitely don't have any yarn sticking out. I remember I looked up a tutorial on YouTube. The next thing I made that I remember being around the same time period was this little Yoda, not a baby Yoda, or whatever his name is, the actual Yoda. If you can see, he's very high quality. His feet don't look weird at all. He doesn't have holes in his head because I didn't know how to decrease. And he looks absolutely beautiful. I love him so much. I think I made this, I don't even know what this is, like a cat blanket. It has this lovely edging. One of the next things I remember making, this very, very long scarf. I used it out of the old yarn. When I used to make scarves for people when I was like 10, I used like the same yarn. I bought a bunch of it. And this is what I made out of the last of that yarn. If you watch my other videos from like a long time ago, you'll know I made these giant leg warmers, and they're very cozy and warm, and like they're kind of hard to move in, but that's the charm of them. And they're also like half of my body. I don't know what I was thinking. Shouldn't have made them that big, but I love them still. Another thing you might recognize if you watch my super old videos is this little monokuma bear that I made when I was like 16 or something. I just felt so smart for figuring out how to make my own when I did not see any others. It's not perfect, but I tried my hardest, and I probably could do better now. But I still love it for what it is. But his like eye is like bulging out of his head. Another thing from around that time I made is this little Miku head. I saw like something similar to this on Instagram, so I was like, where did they get that from? I want to make one. I searched and searched, and I couldn't find a pattern, but I didn't know what to look for, so I just tried to make my own, and I have no clue how I did this. I'll probably never be able to replicate this. Like, look at her pigtails. It's beautiful. Something also I made a while ago is this little keychain that I had on my phone, but it broke. I found a pattern on YouTube, so you can find this pattern on YouTube. Another thing I made is this bucket hat. I don't know why bucket hat. I think I just wanted to make a hat, and that was the first thing I saw. Another thing I made is triangle scarf thing. I don't know why it shows these colors, or like what I was thinking with such thick yarn, or why it's so small, or I think this is one of the first one of these I made. Another thing I made is like this hat. I don't know if I made a hat like this before. It's crocheted to look like it was knitted. You can tell that it's not knitted. Next thing I made, this cushion. I think I messed up. I don't know why there's holes in it, and like it's not round. Put it for my chair because my chair hurts my butt. Using the same yarn to this bag. If you can't tell, I ran out of yarn making the handles, so yeah, there's like a knot there, but whatever. I found on Pinterest a pattern for another one of these triangle scarves or whatever. Yeah, I like how this one turned out better because I had this really thin yarn, and I was like, I'll never use all this yarn up, and I did use it like all up. The latest things that I made that I still have is this little bunny. And yeah, that's basically everything. That's basically everything that I crocheted that I still have. Okay, I don't really remember, but I think this is one of the first things I knitted. You can kind of tell because both ends looked completely different. Like, did I change the tension? I don't know what I did. And this side looks like super loose and like weird and not like a scarf. This is the first hat I made. That's why it's like awkward, like really, really, really long. And I knitted it flat because I didn't know what round knitting needles were. I wanted to use the cable thing really badly, so I did it even though I didn't know how to do it, and it took a long time. Yeah, I even made this pom-pom from the same yarn, and it's so soft. This yarn is so soft. It was another pair of leg warmers, but knitted this time. I didn't do that good of a job, but it's okay. I knit it flat again because I didn't have any round needles. Oh my god, I did such a bad job in this because I didn't know how to do color change and I just went for it, and this is when I got circular knitting needles. Basically, someone on Instagram had this pattern for Lane hat and I wanted to make it. I never made the bear thing though. It's so lumpy. I don't know why it's so lumpy. I still like it. I'd still wear this honestly, even if it's like little nipple looking top, I don't know. Next, I made this frog hat because I saw someone online have it. I still like how it turned out, even if it's not exactly the same as things online. Recently knitted was this red scarf, and it's like, yeah, I think I did better on this than I did in the other one. Learn how to do color work or whatever it's called, changing the colors. But yeah, I found this YouTube video and they said make a hat. I have my round knitting needles I made it with. I think it turned out okay, even though like you can see where the pattern ends at the back, but so don't look at that, just look at the front. Even if it's a little pointy, my hats end up pointy. One of the first thing I knitted, it's like really bad. Oh my gosh, like you can tell I messed up big time. I will probably undo this and like make it into something else. I don't know what, but it's like super soft, so like I want to knit it. The last thing I forgot to show you because it's like so heavy, this sweater that I made like back when I was like 15 and I started, and I was following this video online. I am dumb, I guess, and I thought, oh, I'm using a big yarn, I just need a bigger styled crochet hook and it will turn out exactly the same. It turned out so big and I didn't even realize it until I finished sewing it up, and I was like, okay, it's time to wear it, and I wore it and I'm like, oh my god, this is so heavy, it's way too big. That's why I'm thinking of knitting it, so hopefully it's like less bulky. And as you can see, I was not very good and I'm still not very good, but at least I'm better than I was when I was 10 or 14 years old. Just keep practicing and you'll improve. It takes a long time to improve, but if you just keep doing it, you'll like eventually get there. And like the more like you make mistakes, the more you learn from those mistakes, unless you're me and you keep repeating the mistakes. But eventually you'll learn from your mistakes and you'll actually be proud of your work. I was proud of this, but when I look at this, even though I'm like, oh, I messed up in the ears, I still feel proud, like, wow, look how much better I've become. Like, I actually know how to crease without like making like a giant hole in the top of his head. See, like I ran out of yarn here, but like you'd never tell because I just learned from it, and that motivates me to make more. And yeah, try to get better than I am now, because hopefully I can be as good as all these people I see on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks for watching my video. Bye.